Hello, everybody. I'm here with our Representative Ken Upchurch and our new Senator, Max Wise. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Just briefly, I know we have some time issues, but Ken is the representative for the 52nd District representing McCreary, Wayne County, and part of Pulaski. First off, your thoughts on the upcoming session and what do you see coming forward out of that for McCreary County and your district?
Well, this session is the short session. We go in January the 6th for the organizational part of it, elect new leaders, get committee assignments. We'll be up there for the first 4 days, and then we adjourn and then come back for the remaining portion of it in the first week of February. This is not a budget cycle year, so as far as projects and things of that nature, you're not going to see water lines and projects like we've seen in the past on an even number year. So that's kind of what we call, or what I've always kind of called the cleanup session. Things that were left on the table during the regular session, we get to come back on the short session, kind of clean up some of that legislation that was left. And it also helps prevent special sessions. You're going to see the heroin bill come back, which I know Max will talk about a little bit. You'll see some pension reform legislation for the Kentucky teachers' retirement, and a few other things along the way. But this is basically some cleanup type legislation that you'll see.
Yeah, and of course, you're dealing with the Republicans being a minority party this year, and you, of course, being a Republican, but you'll be setting and pushing forward to the 2016 year when maybe the Republicans will gain control, and you'll be kind of setting the table for some of these items.
Well, we are currently, there's 46 Republicans, 54 Democrats, which has made it, the votes a lot closer on some key issues. It makes it, the Republicans are much more of a force. And we are not necessarily setting the agenda, but we are kind of guiding the agenda because there's some things that maybe the other party would like to vote on and bring up that they're not willing to do because they realize they don't have the vote, so they're not going to, fall on the sword, so to speak. So we're able to really be a better force than what we have been in the past. When I was first elected, I think there was 34 members of Republican members, and now we're at 46. And then going forward in the 2016 cycle, that's always the goal, is to finally become the majority party.
Okay. And going from the minority party to a member of the majority and the veteran to the freshman, Senator Wise, you're going to be starting your first term in this January and in the Senate. And your district, the 16th, represents all the way from McCreary all the way to Taylor and Cumberland. Your thoughts on coming into the Senate this year and what you hope to accomplish in your term as Senator?
I'm very excited about the opportunity. I think it's a privilege that Ken and I are in to be able to, to serve. I think that's, just it's an ultimate, sacrifice that we probably give of our time and of our families to go and do the best job we can in Frankfort. I'm looking forward to really understanding the process that goes with this. Anytime you're a freshman, if it's a freshman in college or the first time taking a new job, you've got to get yourself oriented of what you're supposed to be doing and try to do it the best you can. I think with that, it's going to be leaning on Ken for advice on the House side. It's going to be leaning on my leadership on the Senate side, understanding, what are priorities that when you be working on for this district. He knows this area with Wayne and McCreary much better than I do. And up to the north, I'm going to be leaning on Jeff Hoover, that covers Russell, Clinton, and Cumberland, those areas for his advice as well. And so I think for me, it's really, it's kind of drinking from a fire hydrant right now. I used that term this morning, but that basically is what it is. You're getting hit constantly with people wanting to meet with you, if it's lobbyists or constituents with their concerns, but listening and then taking that, when I have voting privileges and casting those type of decisions of make sure I'm doing what's best for the district.
Mm-hmm. And I'll open this up to both of you. Of course, neither of your districts are among the most prosperous in the state. McCreary County is one of the poorer counties in the states, and a lot of the counties you represent are the same. What are your thoughts on bringing more jobs and more economic development to these regions. I know you spoke earlier this morning about the Right to Work Act, and the Senate, it looks like it will go through, but you got your work cut out for you in the House to get that passed. But your thoughts on helping McCreary County and other counties in your districts?
Well, right to work is a key part of it to make Kentucky more competitive with other states. We need to reform or update our taxing structure in the state because we've got a very antiquated, outdated taxing structure that's not conducive for creating jobs and having industry want to come to Kentucky. And so those are things that we probably won't open up in this short session as far as taxation. But the reason being is in the short session you have to have a supermajority. So it's going to be a lot harder to get 60 votes out of the House and so forth, whereas in a regular session 51 votes will do it. Those two things I've always said, especially on the taxing side of it, is makes Kentucky overall not competitive as it could be. And so we've got to do a lot of work going forward to make that happen. And quite frankly, until the House does flip, I think some of these issues are going to be left on the burner until we're able to get control and pass some of the good legislation that comes out of the Senate. We're kind of in a good situation in a way because a lot of the bad legislation that they pass out of the House gets stopped in the Senate, but on the other side of the coin, the good legislation that comes out of the Senate gets killed in the House. So, I mean, and then we do work together to get some things done, but a lot of the key philosophical issues that we feel as Republicans and conservatives that will make Kentucky more competitive. The key to that is getting majority control of the House.
Okay. Your thoughts, Senator?
I think Ken said it exactly right. I mean, everything he hit on is philosophically, the House is right there of where the Senate is. The Senate Republicans on all these issues with right to work and with tax reform that we've got to do to be competitive. We look at border states of Indiana and Tennessee and what they're doing. I know J.C. Agnew came up to me just a while ago after our town hall meeting we had. He said, it's sad what he sees right there in Tennessee and how far they came and they're progressing. And we just kind of are continuing to stay to be in this rut. Economic development-wise, I think for this district too is tourism, for McCreary County. And I think that's something that, with my background, I really want to champion for. And I previously served as a tourist commissioner in Taylor County, did that for 4 years as chairman. And I think this area depends a lot on tourism dollars to come in here. If it's Big South Fork with adventure tourism and things such as that, I think we need to make sure that those areas are not cut as significant as they were this last time. We have to look at that with tourism dollars, because that's why you want to bring people into this area. You want to have jobs, for the people also here, and tourism can breed jobs. Education is another thing. You want to be sure to keep your workforce local and attract businesses here, that you're going to have good paying jobs. And that you're going to have something for these high school students once they graduate, that they can go into a workforce and that they're trained well. It's vocational skills are definitely needed in the workforce today. And I think that's one of the things also that I will be taking to heart up there is education.
Okay. Thank you. And I want to wrap up this. I spoke to you briefly before we started this interview and mentioned probably the biggest news in McCreary County in the past months was the announcement of a possible waste-to-energy plant being built in the north end. And Ken, I know there's not a whole lot that can be discussed or be said at this point, but you said you have been involved in this process, and can you kind of give our viewers just an insight of your thoughts on this project?
Well, I know there's a lot of skepticism within the community about is this legitimate, and anytime you have someone talking about coming in and spending $1 billion in your community, you're kind of like, that's almost too good to be true. But based on everything, my discussions with the principals involved in it, it is legitimate. You're looking at, it's the technology in it, from some of the meetings that I've been in, is phenomenal. And to have that located in McCreary County, in our region, I think, is phenomenal in itself. But, to create, roughly 900 jobs, and then the spin-off jobs that will come from that will be, it's going to be almost like a mini Toyota coming into McCreary County. And so I'm excited about the prospects. There's a few hurdles that we have to overcome as far as, getting the waste stream, getting the power offloaded. But I think everything is on track to make that a reality for McCreary County, and we're just looking forward to what could happen.
Great. Just want to give you gentlemen both an opportunity if there's anything you'd like to say that we've not covered before we wrap this up. So take the opportunity if you like.
Well, I'd just like to say thanks for the opportunity of serving McCreary County. We've always had an open door policy, being able to get a hold of me, and I'm sure Max will do the same. You can call Frankfurt to get a hold of us. The number is 502-564-8100, and just ask for myself, and be happy to take your calls and share with you any concerns that you may have, or you can share with us, and maybe we can help with anything that you might have issues with. So feel free to do that.
I'm excited about this opportunity. I know I'm a new face to this position, but it's a work ethic that I have of doing the best job possibly, and with that comes with dignity and integrity and serving people the right way. I look forward to working with Representative Upchurch. I think we're going to have a great partnership on a lot of the issues, and down here I cannot wait to get started. And like I said, to serve the people. And it also, a Merry Christmas to everyone that's out there as well.
And once again, I'd like to thank Representative Ken Upchurch and Senator Max Wise for taking the time out of their busy schedule for coming down, and hope to hear more from these gentlemen as the years go on. And we'd like to thank you all for watching, and have a great day.